June 2023, Ecuador. A family gathers for a wake. Their mother, Bella Montoya, 76 years old, had suffered a stroke and gone into cardiac arrest. Doctors tried to save her. They couldn't. She was pronounced dead, moved to a funeral home, and prepared for burial. 5 hours into her wake, something started knocking from inside the coffin. When they opened it, Bella Montoya was breathing, alive, wrapped in her own funeral sheets. She's not the only one. Today, we're going through the people who were pronounced dead by doctors, by governments, by their own families, and turned out to be very much alive. Let's start with the ones that happened in the cold. A 91-year-old woman in Poland was declared dead by a medical examiner and placed in cold storage. She spent 11 hours in there before staff noticed her body bag moving. They unzipped it, she looked up at them and said she felt, and this is a real quote, normal, fine. Then she asked to go home. For soup.
11 hours in a freezer! And her biggest concern was dinner. Then there's Walter Williams, Mississippi, 2014. 78 years old. Paramedics checked him. No breathing, no pulse. Declared dead on the spot. He was zipped into a body bag and sent to the funeral home.
While the embalmer was preparing him, the bag started kicking. Williams was alive, awake, trying to get out. Here's the part that makes this one different from the others. 2 weeks later, Walter Williams actually died. For real this time. His first death sentence was wrong, but only by 14 days. If cold storage sounds bad, this next one is worse. Venezuela, September 2007. Carlos Camejo is in a serious car accident. Paramedics arrive, check for a pulse, find nothing. He's declared dead at the scene and taken straight to the morgue for an autopsy. The examiner picks up the scalpel, makes the first incision.
And Camejo starts bleeding, which, as it turns out, dead people don't really do. Moments later, he's awake, in agonizing pain, surrounded by doctors who are, understandably, losing their minds.
Camejo hadn't died. He'd been knocked unconscious in the crash, deep enough that paramedics couldn't detect a pulse at all. He survived. He went home, presumably never trusted a first responder again.
Then rewind further. France, 1937. 18-year-old Angelo Hayes is in a motorcycle accident. Massive head injury. No breathing, no pulse. Doctors call it. He's buried. His family, suspicious, has him exhumed shortly after. And he's alive. He'd been in such a deep trauma-induced coma that every basic vital sign check came back negative for hours.
So, how does a trained doctor get this wrong? Turns out, the human body has a few ways of faking its own death. One is drugs. An overdose of sedatives, things like Valium or Xanax, can suppress breathing and circulation so heavily that a person appears to have no pulse at all, while the brain stays protected from actual damage. As the drug clears the system hours later, the person wakes up. Another is a condition called catalepsy, a trance-like state that causes muscle rigidity, slowed breathing, and a complete loss of voluntary movement. To an untrained eye, or even a rushed paramedic, it can look identical to death. And to be fair to the doctors, experts say this is genuinely rare. Probably only a handful of cases like this happen worldwide per year. It's not an epidemic. It's a nightmare scenario that occasionally, very occasionally, comes true. But not every story on this list is a medical mistake. One of them is something much darker. India, 1975. A 20-year-old man named Lal Bihari goes to a bank for a loan.
He's told it's impossible. Because according to government records, he's dead. No accident, no hospital, no coffin. Bihari's own uncle had bribed a local official to have him declared deceased so the uncle could inherit his small plot of family farmland.
Bihari was standing right there, alive, and it didn't matter. Once a government stamps you dead, undoing it turns out to be almost impossible. It took him 19 years. 19! Fighting through courts, through corrupt officials, through a system that had zero process for unkilling someone on paper. At one point, he legally changed his name to Lal Bihari Mritak. Mritak literally meaning dead in Hindi, just to make his case impossible to ignore.
He finally won, got his legal life back in 1994. And then, instead of just walking away, he founded an actual association for other dead people. People all over India who'd been declared deceased for the exact same reason. Someone wanted their land, and paying off the right official was cheaper than paying them for it.
If you want more stories like this, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and comment down below to let me know what are your thoughts. And see you next time. Bye.